unpopular opinion. The reason why I don't like Panic at the Disco, for instance, is it was kind of, for me, it sounded like another Fall Out Boy. You know, it was so similar in how Brandon Urie did his vocals. It was so similar in how the music was produced that it was just kind of like don't get me wrong, if you're just missing some more Fall Out Boy, well, you got a second run at it with Panic at the Disco, you know, but at the same time, if Fall Out Boy was just good at what they did, you kind of just want them to be the ones that did it. You know what I mean?
I mean, they kind of had like a fun, 20 title name.
That's an unfair, disingenuous way to frame that. I mean, that's okay. Just because it sounds similar, they shouldn't have done anything because somebody else already did. Okay, so you
no.
You're getting way too close, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's set up for us being back.
Yeah, my bad. No. What I'm saying is, I don't think that.
Well, do you think
that they shouldn't have done anything?
Do you think Panic at the Disco heard? Do you think Brandon Urie heard Fall Out Boy and goes, "I want to copy that straight up," or do you think he did his own thing and then they just happened to sound similar?
I think he did his own thing and happened to sound similar.
Okay, see now.
I don't think he copied it.
But you're saying that he shouldn't have done it because somebody else had already done it.
Well, I think
we can acknowledge influences, by the way, too. There's plenty of things like once things pop off, there's like 20 other little copycats.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not. It's not that I necessarily hate it in the fact of you know, they made it at all or anything like that. You know what I mean? I think that it's perfectly fine for them to make music in any way that they want. The thing I'm saying is, though, it's like if you were to ask me if I wanted to hear Fall Out Boy or a band that sounded similar to Fall Out Boy, I would want to listen to Fall Out Boy.
Okay, see, right there's your problem, though. You're solely focused on Fall Out Boy rather than them being their own individual artists.
No, you're correct.
You're saying that Panic sounds like Fall Out Boy, therefore Panic shouldn't have done their thing. And because you like Fall Out Boy more than you like Panic at the Disco.
No, see, once again, you are throwing some words in my mouth. I've said it twice now. I don't think that they shouldn't have done anything.
You know, your first premise was that, well, they shouldn't have done it because there's already a Fall Out Boy. That was basically what you said.
But you know, it's kind of like what you're talking about right now. You're right. I keep going to Fall Out Boy. Why? Because they sound like Fall Out Boy. So it's like
hard. Fall Out Boy sounds like Panic at the Disco.
It's hard to compare them to someone that they don't sound like.
First. Keep talking.
Yeah, it's hard to compare them to someone they don't sound like. So obviously, I'm going to compare them to the one that they do sound like.
That you think they sound like,
yeah. Like I said, it's an unpopular opinion. I did lead with that.
Well, it's not necessarily. I think the unpopularity comes from it sounds like Fall Out Boy, therefore it shouldn't have been because Fall Out Boy's already done it. It's already done. It's already been done.
Well, no, but it's kind of one of those things where I feel as though Brandon Urie, as well as the rest of the members of Panic at Disco, have done themselves a disservice. I think they could have made something better than Fall Out Boy, rather than something like Fall Out Boy.
But also, here's what I'll chime in. I don't see it. But also I haven't binged cover to cover every album by both bands, if I'm being honest with you. But
yeah,
just the I've listened to a lot of probably more Panic than Fall Out Boy. I definitely see the similarities, but I think Panic's more. I don't know. Fall Out Boy seems more like rock-esque. Not that Panic isn't. There's a lot of rock elements, especially the early stuff. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't see. I see maybe like the recording similarities.
Because I've seen Fall Out Boy, like even if you count like newer Fall Out Boy tracks and everything, like Centuries, for instance. I don't know how new that is, but it's like newish.
It's one of their
14,
newer
I
ones.
think.
Yeah,
like a decade ago.
But you can definitely tell it's very poppy sounding. It's got a lot of pop sound to it.
Okay.
But you know, once again, like I said, and my stance on it, I think as a whole, as a band, Panic at the Disco did themselves as a disservice when I think they could have been more than what they made themselves.
I think they were fantastic. I think they're better than Fall Out Boy, personally.
Yeah, me too, personally. But also at the same time, like even vocally, maybe I kind of see the vocal part you're talking about. Production-wise, they did come out the same era, 2001, 2004. So I don't know if they were. I didn't look and see if they were on the same labels or what have you.
There was a lot of bands in the scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do agree with that. There was. I mean, every era has a certain sound, especially with the signed artists.
Okay, how do you feel about sampling then?
Oh, me?
Yeah, how do you feel about sampling? You think it's okay to sample things for your own music?
Yes.
then but that's something somebody else has already done, and they did it better. So,
Oh, exactly. That's why you sampled it. They're already doing it better. You used their sample.
but that's okay.
Hold on. You're being a little smart aleck.
But no, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's like if I needed Avril Lavigne to hit a line and
And you can't.
I can't exactly that I know she can, I would use a sample that she hit.
I mean, yeah, I get your point.
But-
It's a
but-
different point than he's making, though. I think. Am I wrong with that?
Well, they're two sides of the same coin there on that, because Panic sounded similar to Fall Out Boy, therefore Panic shouldn't have done it because they should have. They sound too much like somebody else.
Yeah.
But it's okay to take somebody else's work and basically plagiarize it into your shit under fair use.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be plagiarizing. It's fair use.
You're still taking theirs as it is and utilizing it in your own capacity.
Yeah, utilizing it. See, once again, okay, so it's kind of like what you just said. That's a good word that you just used. Okay, the biggest difference between copywriting someone and covering someone, or even being inspired by someone, is what are you utilizing and what are you doing? If you're just utilizing the material to help create your material versus you just taking their material and calling it your material,
Oh,
two different things.
that's that distinction was never a problem here. I'm not saying that they're making it their own, but your argument from the beginning was Panic at the Disco sounds too much like Fall Out Boy.
yes.
So,
But I don't think
so
I don't
they-
think
they
the samples
shouldn't
is a
be
good
thing.
example.
The
Like I
samples
said.
is a great example because that's literally taking somebody else's work and putting it into yours, thus making it sound exactly like it.
No. See, once again, I'm going to have to strongly disagree there. I think, for instance, you got to samples are a little more wide range than just a music piece. So, for example, Vanilla Ice, when he did his Ice Ice Baby, the sample was the entirety of the song, essentially, of Under Pressure, the instrumental of it.
It was the bass, though.
So he
Yeah.
he shouldn't have done that because somebody else has already done it, and it sounds too similar.
Let me. Okay.
No,
Remember
go.
his point? I gotta tell you a quick story. When they were suing him, he's all like, "I don't know why I'm getting sued because they went do 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 do, and we went do 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 do." It was so funny. He was all like, "We added an extra note, dude. Like,
Added an extra note.
What's the problem?"
Yeah.
It was just
And then
so
he
funny.
bought the rights.
Ah, dude.
But no, like I'm getting at, to stay on topic. Like I said, I think from your point of view, I think you're taking it from a more harsh perspective, as I'm saying Panic should have not made music because they chose that music.
Yeah, hold on. You
know,
did say earlier.
and I don't feel like that's the case. I just don't think they should have made that music.
What music? Their music?
No, Fallout's.
They didn't
Fall
make
Out Boy.
Fallout's music.
Hold on, I
Like
don't- I
that's a
don't
really
hear
rough
m-
thing to say
yeah,
because
I
I
don't-
don't hear. There's a couple songs where they sound very similar.
Yeah.
But I would
think-
say if we was to listen to the entire discography of both, it would be far fewer songs than you're making it out to be.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
I think it would be far greater, because just with so few on both, they've already sounded exactly the same for me.
He
No,
wa-
you
he just
correlated
wants to
those
argue
two
today,
together.
don't he?
Yeah, it was an easy correlation. It was a very easy correlation.
But to say they shouldn't have done it is I just don't feel like that's a good argument to make, because if you're okay with sampling is even more that of
Well, hold
what
on
you
here.
were
Well,
just.
it'd be more like
fair.
this.
It's fair that you don't think it's a good argument to make. Henceforth, the reason why I said it was an unpopular opinion. That being said,
Well,
opinion still stands. I do believe that they could have done better than what they chose.
Okay.
Instead, they chose that, and unfortunately, I'd rather just listen to what's better in that.
Okay, so so between these two then, which one are you going to pick as sounding like the other as opposed to them being their own bands?
Well, here it is.
Theory of a Dead Man or Nickelback?
I
Because those are two
I
bands that
actually-
people compare in a very similar fashion.
don't really feel like both of those
I
sound
can tell
like
you what.
at
Also,
all.
Craig helped make Theory of a Dead. I think he discovered them, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Who's
He
Craig?
also, the singer of Nickelback. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Chad Kroger.
Yeah.
That's what.
Chad, not Craig.
Yeah, I know what you're getting at.
Well, then he shouldn't have started the other one then if he was going to make it sound so similar.
No. He was just helping out. He also did the same thing with My Darkest Days.
Yeah.
He discovered them. They didn't sound as much. There's still like a lot of stuff you can hear in My Darkest Days. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could totally tell that this Chad helped produce.
Okay, but to the main question, who is copying whose style there in those two?
Technically, it'd be Theory, but at the same time, if you go through their whole discography, which I've listened to a lot, I haven't listened to everything by Theory, but they eventually kind of branched off and did a very unique thing. They still have their sound, sort of, but they also definitely are doing their own thing compared to the beginning. Same goes for disco. You can't say with Panic that their first album sounds like their last album. It just doesn't. Eventually, they kind of branched out.
Well, when it comes to disco, I mean, if I have to try like throw a bone, I guess if that's what's needed.
If I have to throw a bone,
I think Brandon Urie is a great vocalist.
No, he's not.
No, I sincerely do. A lot of the tracks I've heard him on outside of Panic, I enjoyed.
Like what?
One example would be Molly, the one he did with Lil Dicky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But it was just it's a really good, like, he has a good sound to his voice. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I don't think that they're bad musicians. You know, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that they didn't just sound like they were in the same era. They sounded like they were in the same band.
I think
and that is where I have my collision.
We'll just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think we'll
100%.
just have to agree to disagree. That's okay. That was interesting. Okay. I was just the original point was like I really think there's like a manufactured theme that gets pushed through music every once in a while. So yeah. And it goes outside of genre, but oh yeah, let me see. I had some shit.
Could you hand me a brewski?
Yeah, but two of them, please.
Double up on that.
Double shot of beer.
The brewski's getting brewskis.
Oh, damn. That's a knee slapper if I ever heard one.
Ain't it?
Times while we wait for sunset, it's not a phase.